This week's blurb is on making plans. Things are, optimistically, continuing to turn around with respect to what we can and can't do socially. So don't you miss your friends, your acquaintances, the people your friends are friends with but that you actually secretly despise? Me too. So one thing I hope that we've somehow evolved away from is the horrible way many of us treat our friends when we make plans with them. And first up is the aspect of being constantly and consistently late for everything. Like when you have dinner plans and it's time to meet up at the reservation and you get a text that says so-and-so is only just now getting in the shower, doesn't that just stick in your craw? It does for me. In fact, I hit a bit of an apex a while ago wherein I had a few people with whom I would actually lie to about movie start times, just so they could turn out late for the pretend time that I informed them of, and consequently early for the real time for the start of the picture. What? I like to get popcorn. I like to find seats together. I like to make the previews. Shoot me. But at best, being late all the time, not occasionally, makes one seem hapless, careless, disorganized, and unable to manage time. Other circumstances can be perceived as passive-aggressive or even power-trippy in that the night begins when I'm ready, and so forth. So to simplify that, the constantly late person either doesn't care enough about you and your plans together to bother themselves or to remember, or they care so much that they want to make it all about them and rein in an element of control over the proceedings. Yay, friends. The other focus of this making plans blurb is the last-minute cancellation. Now this one gets a little bit tricky. Initially, I think we're all aware of the modern-day advent of making plans and then having somebody pull the chute in the 11th hour. But as people, we weren't always like this. This is new. And there are theories as to its origins, but it's disappointing and frustrating when it keeps happening, over and over. I remember being invited to a wedding through a Facebook group once, a few years ago, and more than half of the invitees were clicking the maybe button for the RSVP. I mean, what? Oh, sure, we'll drop the steak dinner and slice of cake in the mail for you in case we don't see ya. There is more to this, though. I've read many posts and a few online pieces about the psychology surrounding canceling, where we ought to feel empathy for the anxiety issues that are often the root of this behavior, and frankly, I agree. Irrespective of how this all came to be within us, it's real. And other than somebody occasionally having to cancel for whatever reason, I think we can suss out the difference when somebody is legitimately called into work and who is just not feeling well for the 4th time in a row. And from that, it's important not to lay into people for these cancellations because why? What's the get? Why do you want to make things worse? Have you ever tried making them better? What prize could you hope to walk away with by exposing your friend as a serial canceller? Besides, if you know somebody is prone to backing out all the time, either stop inviting them, harsh, or demote them as a plan B, and be prepared for them to just stay home. So then, is there nothing we can do? We just have to live with the modern world of, sorry I can't make it? Not so. Not so. Let's turn 180 degrees to the cancelers here and ask them, if you go to make plans with a friend or friends, be aware of how many times in the past that you've had to bail on them. I mean, really chew on it. Maybe even write it down. I bet it's more than you think. So perhaps, if you can know within yourself that you are a serial canceller, consider how your anxiety or lackadaisical behavior might affect others. That is, people you care about. Maybe you can go, after all. Or maybe just say no thanks, to begin with. That's always an option. And while I'm certain your friends will be disappointed they don't get to hang out with you, at least they're spared the frustration and calamity that ensues whenever they're planning on or waiting for you. You see, invitations are rarely a matter of asking whether or not you want to go, but rather, if you will.